So now that we've got the overall numbers, we want to break it down into our areas of interest. So we want to identify the pond from everywhere else. So to do the area of interest on the takeoff ribbon, you're going to go to define area of interest. And I'm going to start by creating a new area of interest. Now if I do the overall site and I choose the outer boundary, so I'm going to come in here and I'm going to select my outer boundary. Okay, let's make sure we pick the right one. So it goes all the way around our entire site. Now I know we talked about doing the road differently for our materials, which we will do later, but this, for ease of sake of showing you this, we're just going to do the entire project. So when I add that, you can see that it fills the whole area. Well, we've got this area in here that we're not doing anything with, and we got the pond that we also want to remove. So if I come in here and I select these boundaries for the top of pond, okay, and the boundary that we're using to remove this area, and we add that, you'll see that it creates holes within our site. So therefore it's just accommodating and just using this information. So then if we go and create another one, let's call this pond, we will just select the pond area. Alright, so I'm just going to do the pond bench and I'm going to add that. So that creates a area of interest there. If we didn't do that, or we did that in addition to the overall site, okay, if we didn't remove the pond, then the overall site would include the pond, and then we would do the pond again and it would total the pond plus the overall site, therefore accounting for the pond twice. So you want to make sure you put the boundary in to make the hole within your overall site so it doesn't account for it twice. So once you define your areas of interest, and you can make as many as you need, you can then run the report. So when I go to the takeoff report this time, I can choose to report only on that specific area of interest or both. And again, when I click OK, it's going to go through, it's going to rebuild our surfaces, it's going to make any adjustments that we did to the surface, and it's going to change the report to break out the areas of interest for the pond and the overall site. So again, if we wanted to identify the information within the building area, or we've got another area that we're concerned with, or want to know just that specific area because you're going to maybe sub that out, you could accomplish that by just creating a boundary and identifying that site as an area of interest. Alright, so it'll take a few seconds. Again, it's going to generate the report, it's going to recalculate the surfaces, and depending on how many surfaces you have and how detailed your site is, obviously it's going to take a little bit longer. So just be patient, let it run, and it will eventually show you a report. And like I said, it will break it out into the sections, and we'll show you that here. It's got a couple more processes to go through, and as you keep adding more stuff, obviously it's got to do all the calculations to this as well. A couple more seconds. And now here's our report. It's going to load. Again, it's going to add some more pages because again it's breaking it out. So here's our overall site and our pond, and it shows you your area. So I got my pond area, my overall site area. If I move to the next page, now I can see the breakdown between the overall site and the pond. So if you remember from our last report, we were at 159, which now you can see that we're breaking it out, 156 for the overall site minus the pond. Here's the pond information. All right, and then it shows here again the breakdown between the available cut, the haul, so on and so forth. As I move on to the next couple pages, again your overall site versus the pond. All right, so all your details broken out per area of interest. So that's how you do the area of interest. You just identify your boundaries, and then that will be taken care of in the report when you run the report.